and welcome to my next tutorial. Today we're going to be making Snoopy's doghouse. I know, brings back a lot of memories to me. I'm not sure for you younger people, but it does for me. So let's get started. We're going to start with one of these cubes. I think they're called boxes over here. Yep, called the box. And these other measurements we're going to use, we're going to make this 2 millimeters right there. That one's going to be 40. And the height is going to be 10 millimeters. So there you go. Now we're going to start off with this one right here, but we're also going to make these little lines that outline, because when it's drawn, it looks like there's lines all over this doghouse to make it look like it's, boards put together. So we're going to start off with this cylinder. Let's make it black. And we're going to maximize the sides so it's smooth. We're going to rotate this 90 degrees. Make sure you stay inside of that blue circle so it's easily changed to 90 degrees. And now we're going to change this to 1.1. 1.1, enter. Yeah, changes everything. Also 1.1. And this is where it gets a little bit weird. We're going to make this the length of 43.63. And you'll see why later. Okay, so we have these basic shapes, but we're also going to add a sphere. This one is, let's maximize the sides, of course. Let's go ahead and change it to, actually, let's keep it blue, and I'll show you why in a little bit. We'll change it later to black. Right now it's going to be 1.1. Also 1.1. And 1.1. There's an easier way to do that, but I wanted you guys to see this way. I'm going to hit Shift and then use the arrow key to move it over, because it moves it super fast. I want this cube right there to be right here aligned perfectly. Ooh. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but when I move it, it moves in increments of 1 millimeter, right? Perfect, no problem. However, this one is not exactly aligned. So I'm going to change this right here so the movements are much smoother. There you go. But for this particular thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both the cylinder and the sphere by clicking and dragging over both of them and then clicking the letter L. Now in this case, I don't care which one moves, so I'm just going to click here and they're both going to move. Perfect. They're aligned in that direction. Now I'm going to turn this a little bit. Actually, so hard to turn this way. So I'm going to click on away, and then on the sphere, I'm going to click the letter F. Now I'm going to turn the letter F, let me focus on just this object. Now I'm going to use the arrow keys, and I want this to be halfway sticking out from the tube. Okay, that's too much. So I'm going to change the snap grid to off. And I want you to see this. This is what I want to see. I want to see those things right there. That tells me it's about the halfway point. Okay, so now I'm going to duplicate this, Control D. And then I'm going to use the Shift. I'm going to hold down the Shift button and the arrow button. And man, that's so slow. So I'm going to change that to, let's go back to 1. And now I'm going to do the same thing, Shift and the arrow key, much faster. I'm guessing where it is. There, it's still over there. So right there. I'm going to click the letter F. Oh, so much faster. Now I'm going to use the arrow key on my keyboard. And I'm going to look for that little, design. That's what I want right there. Now I'm going to change it to black. And then the other side, I'm just dragging this over. That's going to be black. And there we go. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to group these things. Now, by the way, you know what? Let's just do this now because it's going to make our lives so much easier later. I'm going to group. That's Control G. You can also use that one right there. And then I'm going to duplicate, which is this one right here. Duplicate, and then I'm going to move it over with the arrow key and Shift. We're going to mess with that later. But as for now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to align these two right here. Now, mind you, they're different lengths. That's okay. And right now, I don't really care which one moves. So when I click the L, I'm going to click here and they're both going to move. Actually, I don't like that. That's much better. Let's see what this one does. No, I do want it over here. Okay, a little bit is sticking out. That's fine. Let's go ahead and focus on this. I want about half of it sticking out. So I'm going to use the arrow key. And that looks about right. Yeah, let's say that's good enough. It's better if it's more to the left than to the right. But I'm not sure if you noticed, it's not centered. So let's go ahead and select those two by clicking and dragging. I'm going to click the letter F. And again, don't care which one moves, so I'm going to click this. Later on, I am going to care. Okay, now this one, I'm going to move up. Right about there. I'm going to click the letter F so I can get a better focus. I think I can, oh no, that didn't work on this one. I want to hit the letter T though. Check this out. Let's get a better view of inside this thing. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to move it up a little bit. Nah, it feels good. Okay. Now here's what I'm going to do. Right now we're working with the side of the doghouse, the side. Let's go ahead and change that to black, or the letter T again. I'm going to select both of them. Now I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate, and I'll just move this high up here. Both of them are selected. Remember that. Both of them are currently selected. Look what I'm going to do right now. This is a shortcut. They're currently selected. Remember that. Don't click anywhere else except for what I'm going to do right now. W. And see how it's going around here? It's choosing a face to call the bottom. I know, it's kind of weird. I want the red part. See how it doesn't move when it's on the red part? When it's on the black part, it's like teetering. I want it on the red. I click on the red. Mind you, this is still selected. Now I'm going to click the letter D. And then I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do this till we have 7 of these. So I'm going to duplicate. That's what? 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I think we're good. So now I'm going to click the letter W and then click on this open space over here. Everything is back to normal now. Okay, so now I'm going to group this. I'm going to ungroup it later, but right now I need this grouped. So Control G. I know, it turned red. When it turns red like this, it means that it's processing, it's putting all the pieces together, and you can't actually do anything when it's red. There. Now it's good. I personally don't like that it changed the color, so I'm going to click on the color and then multicolor. Now, back to normal, it's all one piece, great. I'm going to duplicate this, Control D, and another shortcut, click on the letter M to mirror. Now, I have it mirrored. I'm going to hit the Shift and arrow key to move it over here. There's no exact dimensions because we're going to change this later anyways. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click on this and we're going to duplicate. All right, so there we go. Okay, so now we're working on both sides of this thing, but here's the problem, okay? I'm not sure if you noticed, but if you, well, it's not a problem yet. You can't see it yet, but you will. I'm going to drag this over here. Please drag it over here. There. I want this edge right here to be right next to this with no space. And I've seen a lot of students just try to drag this over here and then guess, and then drag this over here. No. Here's how you can make sure. You're going to select both of these only. If you go up here and select both of these, you actually selected this one over here and it throws everything off. So focus on just the 2 parts you want. So I have these 2 right here. I'm going to click the letter L. At this point, I don't care which one moves, but I want, look what happens. That's what happens, right? I don't want them to be right there. What I want is for this. This is the part where I have to ungroup. Do I? Let me think here. It's just actually easier. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to use this right here. I'm going to select this one, and then I'm going to do the W thing again. Remember? The W lets me choose my work plane. That's my work plane right there. Now, because that's selected, I'm going to click the letter D. Now they are aligned. I know that looked weird, right? That looked weird. I'm going to go back, click the W. Perfect. Now let's look. Are these 2 aligned? I don't think so. So now I'm going to select these 2 right here. Now I'm going to click the letter L. I don't care which one moves at this point. So let's see. If I do this, nope, didn't work that time. I think it's on the other side. So again, I'm just going to select these two, click the letter L, and let's see which one's going to give me what I want. Nope, that's not it. So this is the time where I'm going to have to manually move this. It's going by increments of 0.1. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to click on this side and then with the arrow key, move it down. Is it flush? No. So that means I'm going to I changed the settings to off. That way it's easier to tell if these are aligned when I'm moving it. And I'm going to zoom in. So, right? So close. Okay. That is as close as we're going to get it. And you know what? For this one, I'm going to delete it. It's just easier and faster to click on this, duplicate, Control D, mirror, and just go over here, right? And then hit Shift, and then the arrow key, and it'll move over. Wow, that's so slow. So let's go there, 0.25. Now, this is where I get to look and see again if it's aligned. Oh, wow. I think it is. Now, if it weren't when you're doing it, what you would do is just with the arrow keys, change this back to 0.1 or off, depending on how accurate you want to be. It's not going to really change much, but I just wanted you guys to know that's an option. So, okay, do we have everything? Nope. We're missing this one over here, the back. So I'm going to Control D for this one. Use the letter M to mirror it so it's facing the other direction. And then I'm going to just use the arrow key pointing in the direction I want it to go. I'm going to hit Shift and make that go faster. All right. This is already selected right now. I'm going to click the W. That changes my work plane. I'm going to make that the edge right there. Now I'm going to click the letter D. Perfect. W again, there. So we have the basic, we have the 3 and this one. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to select that one and ungroup it. Delete, 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 and I only want 3. Good. Now this one, I'm going to ungroup it. Now you're probably thinking, why did we make it in the first place? It's just faster this way. Trust me, I put a lot of time thinking, what's the fastest way of making this? Now, these we don't need, so we're just going to get rid of those. Mind you, I selected them that way. Okay. So now we need to ungroup these right here. I know. All that work, right? And then ungroup these. And right now I'm like, okay, the fastest way to do this is to manipulate one and then change the rest. So let's do that. You're probably asking yourselves, why did we do these? Now, let me remind you, the only reason we have these is because, oops, we hit Control D. And Control D duplicated these and the black ones, which means we didn't have to worry about the ones that are right here. They happened oops. I should probably focus on just clicking. And the way you can tell that it's selected is that it's gray. And while it is taking time right now, it did save us a lot of time earlier. So I'm going to drop that one down. You see how I have it selected? I'm going to click the letter D and it's at the bottom now. All right. So the measurements for this right here is actually going to be just a couple of movements here. I'm going to ungroup. And then this one is going to change to, can you guys see that? Let's move it closer over here. 40. Okay. Now that one right here, I'm moving it, I'm hitting Shift and moving it over. We're going to do the same thing we did last time, and hopefully we can see those little spheres. Oh, too much. 0.25 is too much. Let's try 0.1. Oh, still too much. Off. You see, that's what I'm looking at right there. Okay, that's fine. Let's do the other side over here. And that should not have changed, but let's check it out. Oh yeah, good. Let's make it all one pole again. So I have that selected. Now I'm going to have the pole selected and that right there. Now, mind you, when we did this, we didn't move it away from the wall at all. So I'm just going to hit Control G. And why is it blue? Maybe I chose blue. So now I'm going to center it. So now I'm going to click here. And now I'm going to click on the black bar. I'm going to click the letter L. Now, I don't want this to move. The bar moving, perfectly fine. This one, no. So I'm going to click on it once. And now only the black bar will move. Perfect. That's what I want. So now I'm going to click Control D. And I'm going to move this up to match the sides right here. You see? Now I'm going to click Control D. And it thinks that's where I want it. I don't. Actually, I want it right here. This next one should work when I hit Control D. Let's see. Should be perfectly aligned. It did. Good. And one more. Now, I could do all the work over here, but I'm not. Way too much work. I'm not into that. I'm going to do what I did before. Why isn't that going away? I guess I had to get closer. I'm just going to get rid of these. It's just much faster. Instead of doing all the work I just did right now, so much easier to just select all of these, group them. Now, again, when it's red, it means it's processing. It's going to take a while. Oh, there it is. And good, multicolor. Now I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to click the letter M to, actually, no, never mind. I need to duplicate it first. Control D. Now the letter M, I want it to go in that direction. So I'm going to choose that one right there. And then Shift. Oh, wow, I have it off. Let's go to 0.25. We're going to use that trick again with the W, which means this is selected, right? So now I'm going to make that the work plane. Now the letter D, perfect. Now W again, and there's the work plane over here. Good. I think we're all set. All these are aligned. That's good. That's what we want. This right here is the side. This one or this one can be the front of the doghouse. Okay, so we have that. Let's go ahead and work with the front of the doghouse. We're going to take one of these boxes, and here are the dimensions. It's still going to be 2 because we're working with the same type right here, the same type of wood plank. The number is going to be different though. This is going to be 60. And the height is going to be 16.67. And now let's go ahead and let's move this over here. It's so hard to select. All right, let's just move it over there. It's still selected. I'm going to hit Shift and then do the rest. Move it over there. That way we can see it. And okay, for this one, we're going to undo this. Actually, let's move it over here. I'm going to hit Shift and drag it right about there. Sorry. I'm going to move it so that these are aligned right there. That's a little bit off. And still a little bit off. Look at that. There, these are aligned. Good. Now I'm going to ungroup this. And this sphere, I'm going to hit Shift. Wow, that's so slow. I keep forgetting how slow it is. Where did that go? I want it about there. This is going to be 60. So I'm going to click here. 60, we're good. Okay, now this sphere, wow. Click on that, click the letter F, and now it's going to be easy to manipulate. Good. I'm going to use the arrow key and move. Oh, I still have it on too. Wow, it's like a slow motion train wreck. It's about to happen. Whoa. Actually, the better view is from the side, so let's go ahead and look at it from the side. I'm going to hit Shift and then move it faster. Okay, we're looking for those little shapes. There they are. That's fine. So let's go ahead and group that one. This one, which seems to be a different color, and then that one. And hit Control G. And we want to make that black. It's already black. Good. Okay, we're going to put this at the top. Remember how we did it last time? We're going to move it over so that half of this is in here. I'm gonna hit shift and right about there. Okay, that's good. Now we're gonna duplicate, Control D. I'm gonna change this to 0.1. I'm gonna move this up. And that 16, I think 16 is correct. I moved it up 16 millimeters. I'm gonna go a little bit more. That feels good right there. Okay, so now we're gonna do, now pay attention to this part right here, okay? I'm thinking. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Trust me, it's gonna be faster. I'm gonna select both of these, Control D. Now W, this is now our new work plane. Click the letter D, and then Control D, and we have our ceiling. Okay, I'm gonna click the letter W, click over here, and I think I may have been wrong about getting rid of that top one. My apologies, but I'm gonna select that one, Control D, and again, 16, you can't see that, 16.1. Wow, did I click on the wrong thing? I guess we'll just have to do this manually till it looks good. Okay, so now I'm going to select all of these and I'm going to rotate it 28.5. Now, in this case, we're going in the negative direction, so it's going to be negative 28.5. Great. Now I'm going to hit Control G for this one. I need to group this because we're going to be messing with it. And it's so much harder to mess with it in that direction. Okay. So it's red. Good. Now I'm going to change the colors again. Good. Now I'm going to duplicate this, Control D. And now I'm going to click the letter M. Actually, let's do this. Letter M. And I want it to go in the opposite direction. There we go. I'm going to hit, which one? Let's move this one. So now I'm going to hit Shift. And I want them to meet at the top. So let's focus here. I don't want any of these corners showing, so I'm just going to move it so that it's right about there. Should we get rid of one? No, I don't mind it. I think it looks fine. Okay, I think we're good with this. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to move this 25 up. And I think we should group it. Let's go ahead and group that. Control G. Now, this one's going to go right about here. We need to center this. Actually, let's look right about here. I clicked on this wall and clicked the letter T. What I'm going to look at is if this is touching that side right there. So I'm just going to move it over with oops. I want this to be moved over. See how it's touching the black part? That's perfect. Over here, good, that part's aligned. Now we need this. Right now it's too far to the right, so let's look at here, and it sounds good, but let's just make sure it's centered by clicking. This is already selected. Now I'm going to select this one. I'm holding the Shift button, and I'm going to click on here. Now I'm going to click on the letter L. I don't want this bottom one to move, so I'm going to click on it again, and now it's perfectly aligned. All right, you're with me so far? We're almost done. I'm going to click the letter T so I can see that again. All right, so now I'm going to bring one of these cubes. The width, let's just make it about 70. The height is going to be 60, more or less, and 20, yeah, okay. So now I'm going to rotate this the same degree as this one, which if you don't remember is, in this case, negative 28.5. And then let's just move that up. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Oh, it's not covered. Oh, okay. I'm like, it's not working. It is actually. Now, we want it to be touching that perfectly, right? But we can't just guess. So here's what we're going to do. We have this thing selected. I'm going to click the letter W and make sure this is now the work plane. I'm going to click the letter D. Now it's on the work plane, but it's not high enough. So I'm going to click the letter W, move it over here. This needs to be higher. It needs to cover the top and the bottom. So again, this is selected. Click the letter W right there, the letter D, and we're there. W, oh here. Okay. Now with my arrow keys, I'm going to just move this over here. Perfect. Now I'm going to duplicate this, Control D, and then mirror the letter M, and then, oh yes, I'm going to do the same thing. That one that we just made is facing that way. I'm going to click the letter W. That's the work plane. Now I'm going to click the letter D. It is now there, however, too tall. So I'm going to click here for the work plane. I clicked a W. I'm going to move this down. And then I'm going to move it back. And we're going to try this again. Again, this part selected, W, there, and then the letter D. W here. Oh, wait, W. Why isn't that part working? Click the letter W. There it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do, very important, I'm only going to select this one, this side, and the opposite side. Not everything. If you were to select everything, you'd be getting rid of some detail you don't want to do. So now that all the parts are selected, again, I don't want to select these little ones over here. I'm going to hit Control G. Now when it's turning red, you know what's going on. If you'd like to support this channel, in the video description, I have some affiliate links where if you click to the Amazon link for some filament, some of that money would go to me. It doesn't charge you anymore. It just says, Amazon says, thank you for helping us out. So that's one way to support this channel while we're waiting for this. And you know what? I'm done waiting. Let's go on. Oh, look at that. This right here. Is it going to be visible? No. The printer will not detect those things, so not an issue. You can see it here, but the printer will not unless you have like a best printer ever. Okay, we're going to make this 24. I'm going to hit Shift. I'm going to change this to 1. I'm going to hit Shift and move this to 24 by moving it up and hitting the Shift button. All the sides are now 24. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to rotate 90 degrees. And then I'm going to maximize the sides because I like doing that. I'm going to hit Shift and make this 24. I'm going to move this up 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to select both of them, click the letter L, and group. All right, looks like I'm going to group both of these. Control G. And now this one is going to be the front of the house. I don't know if it's aligned, so I'm going to click the letter L after selecting both of them, and I want it to be aligned to the front. And so now I'm going to group the front and this shape and Control G. Now, if you want to add the word Snoopy, that's fine. You can just do one text at a time. Whoa, that needs to be rotated. And I wouldn't use that one right there. Hey, where'd that come from? Oh, we may have selected something else. All right, well, that one we can move back and shift in that one. Okay. Now, again, if you want to add the word Snoopy, you just change that, rotate it 90. You would put one letter at a time because the word Snoopy would be, you know, moving over there. So it would be an S, but I don't like that one. I think Sans is better. Oh, yeah. And you would rotate it here, 90. That was not 90. But that's extra, right? If you want to do that, that's fine. Click the letter D, make that black. And why am I choosing the wrong colors every time? So that's what I would do. I would just, you know, one letter at a time because usually in a comic book, if you do put the word there, it's a little rotated. So I would duplicate this, move it over. Yeah, I know. Move it over and then rotate it a little bit, change it to N, and you get the idea. All right. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you later.